Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'll be going over today's price action and going over the trade I took today. Pretty happy to say is yet another winning day, which is very nice. I took it on both my funded account and my FTMO challenge account. As you can see, $300 on the day on my funded account, and then on the FTMO it was 1,455. So yeah, let's get started. So on the weekly, still kind of this overarching bearish narrative. We have this previous quarter high SMT and this change in the state of delivery. So this is making me want to look for previous quarter low. As I mentioned in another video, we tapped into this opening price of the order block, and then we saw like heavy rejection from it, which kind of further made me think we're going to go lower. And this is important because this is kind of the same way I entered today, which we will get into. So going to my journal, if I go to the daily chart, so this is the daily chart we're looking at. Overall, still in this bearish range. On the daily chart, we tapped into this gap, and now we want to see lower prices towards this swing low as a form of internal range liquidity to external range liquidity type of idea. For the past couple of days or few days, we've seen price kind of stall down here, and we have created this daily fair value gap. So because price is stalling, I actually wouldn't mind seeing price come up here and tap into this daily fair value gap before moving lower. I know YM and ES have tapped into that gap, but there was no SMT of significance created in that gap tap in. So for now, I'm open to seeing price kind of come back to this daily fair value gap. This is the 6-hour chart. This is how it looked like before market open. We have this previous weekly low SMT with ES and NQ taking it out, and YM didn't. And I wasn't paying too much attention to this yesterday, but today I am paying attention to it just because it's giving a framework to look for possible short-term buys up into that daily fair value gap that's resting up here. So that's something to keep in mind. Previous weekly low SMT, and potentially we could see higher prices, at least for the short term. So this is how the 90-minute looked like before the open. As you can see, the daily fair value gap is resting right about here on NQ, and we closed above previous day high on all three assets. So there's no previous day high SMT, and due to the fact all assets closed above it, it's actually a bullish sign. It's actually it makes me think that we could see higher prices, and considering the fact that we have a previous week low SMT and the fact that the daily fair value gap is right above us, that gives me a good enough framework to look for buys up to this level. So basically I'm looking for lower time frame SMTs, looking for bullish lower time frame SMTs to get in on this idea. We had a previous session low SMT here. NQ and ES took out previous session low, but YM actually closed below it, which is a hidden body to body SMT. So we had a 15-minute SMT, and then we had a 5-minute SMT. So as we can see, this was my entry. YM just wicked out previous 90-minute low, but it had a body to body SMT because NQ and ES closed below previous 90-minute low and YM did not. And then we got this change in state of delivery up here, and this is the official entry right here. Stop loss at the swing low and targeting the daily fair value gap. It was only 1.45 risk to reward, or 1.47, something like that. So it's a lower risk to reward type of trade, but I've made a rule that any trades that are, over one risk to reward, I'll be willing to take because they are kind of like base hits. And the good thing about taking these kind of base hit trades is that they do add up. In the long run, they do create a nice little cushion. So I think it's worth taking these types of trades, even if the risk reward isn't the highest. As long as the framework is there, I think it's a good decision. So I'll be fully transparent. I did hesitate on entering today. I can kind of go over what I went through. So the entry was here officially, and then but then I saw price move much lower, and this was at the point that I was hesitating because of the low risk reward, and then price just started going lower. So I decided to want to monitor the trade. And this is what I was talking about, the opening price being very telling. So this is the order block we created with that change in state of delivery. So as you retraced, we tapped into that change in state of delivery, into that order block. And I wanted to see how we reacted from there, kind of like that weekly chart that I was showing at the start. So we tapped into it. We tapped into it here, this black line. Tapped into it, stalled a little bit, and then we had a very big... I'm in the 1 minute chart. I just hopped on the 1 minute chart to just kind of see what's going on a more granular level. Anyway, I saw that we created this bearish fair value gap, tapped into the order block, kind of waited around a little bit, and then had a really big displacement candle inverting this fair value gap. And this was around the same entry price as the official entry. So I entered around like in this candle here. And then from there it was smooth sailing. Price just kind of shot up and up and up and up. As far as trade management goes, not a ton happened. When price closed above this swing high, I brought my stops to break even. So it became a risk-free trade. And then price just hit the daily fair value gap. And that was it. It was a pretty quick trade. It happened all within 15 minutes. And yeah, that was it. So it was a pretty nice... it's pretty nice to see this idea play out and to be a part of it. I know now that we dug in, quite a bit deeper into that daily fair value gap, but that's fine because all I was here for is trying to get kind of like a piece of the pie, so to speak, of this move, and that's what I got, which was good. So yeah, we delivered from here into the daily fair value gap. Now price can do kind of whatever it wants to do. When I come back tomorrow, I'd be interested to see if we have a previous day high SMT, kind of like something like this, to kind of look for that IRL to ERL of the daily that we've been looking at for a few days. But yeah, kind of that's it for the review today. Looking over my journal, going over some things. Yeah, the things that I marked down, what I did wrong today is I didn't enter immediately. I kind of hesitated because of the low risk to reward. I'm glad that I did it. I was able to kind of think on my feet and be a bit nimble and re-enter. But moving forward, any trade that is kind of like one risk to reward or higher, I would be willing to take as a kind of like base hit trade. But other than that, I think everything is very cool, very well executed. Move stops to break even at a good time. Recognize when the bias shifted a bit, and we could look for higher prices into that gap, and was able to execute on the idea. So yeah, I think today was a pretty good day. This is my funded account. As you can see, I entered on this blue marker here and took it all the way up to here, which was that daily gap. So yeah, that's about it. Results for this year have been pretty nice, sitting at 75% win rate with a risk to reward of 2.57. Can't complain, things are looking pretty nice. So yeah, we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see what's up. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time.